Your Minnesota Timberwolves are on the road to the playoffs, and you could be there for every electrifying moment. Head over to our contest page to find out how you can join their playoff priority access and register to win a grand prize of tickets to every home Timberwolves game for the 2024 NBA playoffs. That's KFAN.com. Make the keyword contest to enter.
How long are you going to talk?
Hey, Zacho, will you remember during the break to go down and get Derek? He's been down there for an hour.
Sure.
I'm such a moron.
No, you're just incredibly identical to me. That sounds exactly like something I do.
Yeah. Wow. It's your morning show. Rosie will be here in a bit. I guess Rosie will probably let him in by the time we remember.
Yeah, if Derek just wants to wait 30 more minutes, Mark can let him in.
Yeah, no big deal. All right, let's do some news.
This is KFAN News with Chris Hockey, presented by the St. Paul Saints.
That's right. The Saints at Nashville for the next few days, but they'll be back home on the 9th, next Tuesday, to play versus Iowa. A 4:07 game. They have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 game stretch against Iowa at home starting next Tuesday. Get your tickets at saintsbaseball.com. We love you, St. Paul Saints.
I love hearing baseball scores again.
Yeah, you love
means
baseball.
Summer's coming. I'm done with this winter.
I'd like you to throw some pitching.
Yeah.
Sometime.
I think his shoulder's got one in there until it completely explodes.
I forget what position did you play in baseball?
I was third catcher and then third base.
No kidding.
Yeah, I had catcher until I broke my leg when I was 15, and I had a little trouble getting down into that crouch.
Yeah, I get you.
So I went over to third.
Yeah, I get you. The Minnesota State Fair will be celebrating the unofficial start of summer again this year. The 4th annual kickoff to summer at the fair is going to be held at Memorial Day weekend at the State Fairgrounds, featuring live music, games, and rides, and plenty of fair food. Tickets for the 4-day event will go on sale this Friday because if you one thing you don't get enough of, it's the State Fair.
Love it.
I know you do.
Let's go.
Yeah, that sounds good. Cheese curd sounds pretty amazing right now. Mini donuts.
Good. Oh, amen.
Just calories and sugar.
It's exactly what I was doing last week.
And more calories.
And churros, and more churros.
Yeah, but the beauty of Disney, like you and I talked about off air, is the tens of thousands of steps.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
You eat
like
an
30,000
absolute
a day.
Right. You eat like an absolute ass for 30, for a week straight, but you're walking 30,000 steps.
You ate for a week straight?
Oh, yeah, for a week straight.
Everything.
Never stopped.
Yeah.
But you just keep walking. You walk it off.
You eat, walk, and sleep. That's what you do at Disney.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It was.
It's the best, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Pharmacists are struggling once again to fill Adderall prescriptions, so if I start getting real angry, you're going to know why. According to a CNN analysis, the country's ongoing drug shortage is to blame. About 1 in every 10 people who use Adderall or similar combination drugs to treat ADHD has been affected, and we're all pissed! Make some more! What are you doing with your time? Why are you so lazy? I'm sorry, baby. I didn't mean to get angry. I'm so sorry. But son of a bitch, they're little tiny pills.
And you think they know? They know how many people are getting them.
Yeah, I think they're doing it on purpose.
Supply and demand style thing, right? Keep the demand up.
It's the man.
Yep.
Man, Adderall's a game changer for your boy over here. Until I don't have it. So you better be getting me some Adderall. I'm sorry, baby.
Ike Turner over there.
Put some steak on it.
That's a dated reference.
No doubt. A suspect is in jail for allegedly stealing tires from train cars. Memphis, Tennessee police were called early Monday morning for 2 individuals breaking into boxcars on the railroad. They were able to stop a truck loaded with tires, fleeing the scene, and arrest the driver.
All right, that makes a lot more sense because the way you said the first sentence, I'm like, how the hell do you steal a wheel off a train?
Right.
But these are tires on a train.
On a train, on a car, on a train. That's exactly right.
Got it.
That's a pretty good idea if you think about it. I mean, I'm sure they could have done a better job. They got caught, but there's cars on that train.
But in a lot of ways, exactly. It's the genius of Ocean's 12.
Yeah, right.
Steal it before it's available to be stolen.
Right.
So you don't have to wait for it to get to a tire shop or a dealership. Steal it on the train.
Steal it on the train.
A lot easier.
Man, I got to start thinking about a heist on a train.
Hey, Marco Paris, speaking of cars.
Yes, yeah.
I got like 3 weeks where I'm gone a lot.
Yeah.
When I get back, we got to go to Unique Classic Cars in Mankato.
And
they have 3 Shelby Mustangs just waiting on you, man.
Really?
Just waiting on you. Dude, these are the coolest things ever. One of them is brand new, like just off the assembly line.
Yeah.
Still has the plastic on the seats.
Oh.
My God.
Love
dude.
that.
You need to buy it so I can ride around in it with you. I want you to drive me like Jeeves, please.
Yeah.
Real fast.
That's what I do now. Drive fast, take chances.
Yeah, that's what we do.
Yeah. Don't listen to this, Gianna.
Yeah.
Turning 16.
Yeah, drive slow and use your turn signal.
Please.
Yeah, please.
Look over your shoulders.
More than $20,000 worth of stolen merchandise has been found in a storage unit belonging to a Sacramento County jail inmate. Police say the merchandise had been stolen from Nike and Marshall stores in the Arden, California area. The items included more than 40 pairs of designer shoes, purses, handbags, luggage, and several pieces of clothing. They're returning all the merchandise to the stores. Apparently, he snitched on himself once he got in jail. All right, guys, you got me. Here's where my junk is. Man, if they broke into my storage unit right now, they'd just burn the son of a bitch down.
Really?
Oh, there's so much junk in there that I don't need. I just couldn't get myself to throw it away.
Yeah, well, you're a minor hoarder then, right? You just can't get rid of it.
53.
Yeah.
Get it? I'm not a minor. Get it?
I don't.
Okay, nobody? Thank
At least
you.
you
I
have
got
plenty
it.
of room.
Sauce would have laughed.
Oh, that was funny.
Thank you, buddy.
Brilliant. Yeah, I don't know. I think my family's at the point now where we need a storage facility. One of those bits. We have so much stuff that Angie won't get rid of specifically.
Speaking of Angie, can I give you another news story?
Is this redhead related?
No, it's dog related.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
Well, you said the other day that she believes your dog knows the days of the week.
She believes that she can tell, the dogs can tell the difference between the weekend and the week, yes.
Well, listen, science might be backing her up.
Oh, great. That's the last thing she needs. She doesn't need any more wins.
Well, she took one big owl about 10 years ago. A new study shows that dogs can understand certain words. So if they hear you say it's Wednesday...
I don't think so far this is not technically giving her the victory.
The way dogs can understand how some words refer to certain objects suggests they could understand words in a similar way to humans. Researchers in Europe said they were inspired by studies about the way infants understand the world before they can speak and decided they'd run similar experiments on doggies. They found that brain activity in 14 of the 18 dogs they studied was different when they were shown an object that matched a word compared to a mismatched image and a word. In other words, they said, like, shoe and showed them a picture of a shoe, and then they said shoe and showed them a picture of a vulva, and they were confused as hell.
Well, most of us are. Chris, that takes practice. You'll get there.
Yeah, I don't know why they used that picture. Somebody needs to check on that scientist.
That's somebody's kink, right? Just showing dogs pictures of the female anatomy.
Somebody somewhere, man.
Somebody somewhere. Look at this, Mochi. Oh, God.
They got a pretty good sense of smell,
Hey,
right?
Muppet, look over here.
Zach, go sit in the corner.
Oh, did you say so? Oh,
He did.
I stepped on that touchdown call.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Mark, you were gone last week. My wife tried to turn, like you have dogs.
Yep.
Unfortunately, you just lost one of yours. R.I.P. That sucks.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you. I appreciate it. I missed. I missed her. She's a sweet one, and I'm quite disappointed that I also lost my favorite punchline in my 13-pound black wiener.
Yeah,
I know you are. Yep.
But you know, dogs are creatures of habit,
100%,
right? And they get into routine.
Yep.
So I think what my wife did is say, dogs understand when the routine is different, which all of us could agree with that, right?
For sure.
Like when my dogs eat the second they get up in the morning. So if you start walking around the kitchen making breakfast, they're like, what the hell's going on here? Like, you're supposed to feed.
It's breakfast time.
So I understand dogs get routines. But she tried to tell me they know the difference between the weekend and weekdays. They might sense that our patterns are different, but it's not like Mochi or Mars halfway through Wednesday goes, God, when is the weekend gonna hit? This week is taking forever. Is it only Wednesday?
They wake up on a Monday and the kids are home. And they're like, wait a minute. Why are you guys home from a day from school here?
Get the hell out
What the
of
heck?
here.
Is it a snow day or something? You guys aren't supposed to be here.
Is this Good Friday? Get your ass to school, you lazy bums. So anyway, and at this point, by the way, it wasn't like we were 2 hours past a kid's normal school bedtime where the pattern was off. She told me this, I think, at like 7:30 on a Saturday night.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, Mochi knows it's Saturday. I go, excuse me? is that possible? They can tell. No, they can't.
Well, she knows.
Giant L 10 years ago. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
Giant L.
She regrets it every day.
Hey, I wanted to do this, and we got a couple of minutes here at the end of the segment. How in the world was Disney?
Awesome.
Besides real expensive.
Yeah, it was absolutely awesome. They have it figured out.
Can I ask you real quick? I'm sorry. Did you go to the Florida one or the California one?
California.
Okay, California one.
So yeah, we did the California because Turner did his homework, and at the Galaxy's Edge in Florida, you can build the lightsabers, but I guess you cannot play with them. And out California, yeah, they had no issues with us busting them out and kind of playing with them here and there. So it was really cool. It was amazing. Like, so even though it's been kind of years since I went through my Star Wars phase, obviously, like, you can't help it. You just fall right back into it. And you're walking around, and it's the Millennium Falcon. The whole Millennium Falcon is sitting right there, and you get to walk around and walk through it, and you go into the cockpit, and it was hysterical the first time we drove it. So the person on the left, where I guess Han would be, is left and right, steers left and right, and then Chewbacca, where I was, is up, down, and there's just so much going on. There's 6 people in there doing it all at the same time, a couple of gunners and engineers, and I literally the whole time Turner was just screaming at me because I was just driving us straight into the ground the whole time. As I'm looking around, I'm like, I'm in the Millennium Falcon cockpit right now.
Focus.
Like, I'm sorry, Turner. I don't care what's going on. So yeah, it's super cool. The Rise of the Resistance is an absolute game changer. If you've never been on that ride / attraction, that absolutely is a mind blower when you're a Star Wars fan.
Yeah.
Zach and I have done it too, and we've said the same thing. You almost can't explain it to somebody until they do it. How really, immersive it is. It blows your mind. You're like, this is the technology that's already in existence? How can we do this? This is so cool.
When you go into the transport and that door opens up when you walk, literally everyone in there just stood there and stared. They yelled at us to get out of there, and like, nobody moved because we were like,
it's a magic trick, right?
Where are we? What planet did we just go to?
Does it make your belly sick?
No,
not at all. It's just it's an amazing attraction, and I was just talking to Corey about it too. Like, Disney, they have it figured out. I mean, everybody's in character the whole time. Everybody that works there, so you totally feel like you're immersed in Star Wars. You got Chewbacca walking around on the Resistance side, and on the First Order, every now and then you see Kylo Ren walking through, quickly barking some orders at people, and some stormtroopers are walking around the whole time. And the first day we get there, we're walking through after we've ran to do the Millennium Falcon as fast as we could, and I ruined the ride for everyone.
Of course.
We're walking through, and there's, obviously it's spring break time. So this is the first time we've actually been there in spring break time, and there is so many people.
Yeah, I bet.
So Gianna's kind of looking and waving at these 2 stormtroopers that walk out onto their posts, sitting up in their spots or wherever they are, and this one notices, and he's staring at her, just watches her walk the whole way, and finally he gives it the "I'm watching you," and he points at her. And so, like, oh, that's funny and cute and everything. And hours later, the evening comes by, and again Kylo Ren's coming by with 2 stormtroopers in his garden. They just literally walk right by us. And Gianna, of course, is trying to get Kylo Ren's attention because she's wearing an Anakin Skywalker T-shirt.
Yeah,
because she's got a crush on Anakin Skywalker.
Sure. There's a lot of baggage there.
Yeah,
we're gonna have to work with
I've
Gianna.
had that conversation, so I'm trying. We're working on her. We'll have to sit her down. We'll have a little intervention on her. But then as we're walking through, like, one of the stormtroopers, literally, he turns, he's like, "I'm watching you," and like kept walking for hours. They absolutely remembered it was Gianna.
Oh, that's cool.
And that was like they've got everything figured out. And then you go to the other side, you go to the Incredicoaster. Corey and I were talking about that, and we'll get to Elastigirl in a second.
Go on.
But yeah, and then when we hit Turner's he was Cars fanatic. He absolutely loved Cars. Everything was Lightning McQueen, and we walk in, and there's Mater sitting there, and nobody, like, we sit in line for a second, we get to talk to him, Turner's kind of gets blown away, and we walk in and we do a couple other things, come back, like, oh, let's check and sure there's Lightning McQueen. I mean, it's just the whole experience, and it's so immersive. It's just amazing. Yeah, you pay for it, but man, it's just the memories and everything. Disney does it right. They've got it figured out. What a story, Mark.
Could you please get to Elastigirl?
Yeah, let's talk about Elastigirl. I'm so glad Nikki never took a picture of the line I was standing in to get a picture with the Incredibles, because I brought the average age up about 30 years in that line. I mean, it was just nothing but children that want to get their pictures with Mr. and Mrs. Incredible.
They'll learn.
And so I walk in there and I'm like, I'm sorry, I just want a picture with your wife. And Mr. Incredible was a little upset at me at first, and it was kind of funny because the last girl pulled me, and that was Nikki. It was a picture of her pulling me away, and I was trying to figure out, not in a creepy way, to get her to turn around for you.
God, you should just
I
ask her.
really was trying to, but I'm like, I'm already the creepiest guy in there. There's nothing but like 10-year-olds and 11-year-olds waiting to get their picture, and here's a guy that's almost 50 standing by himself waiting to get his picture with Elastigirl.
That's great.
So I'm like, all right, I can't be that creepy in front of all these kids. So Nikki tried to get, that best picture tried to get behind and work with her with the best she could in the line, and I got a couple pictures with her, and then Mr. Incredible was a little bit jealous with Nikki taking the pictures, so then he went out and grabbed Nikki, and they got a. So yeah, again, all of it
I'd
was.
also like to see her topless.
So Nikki and I, swapped a little bit with the Incredibles.
All right, good for you guys.
I think you
No,
got
that's
the
a
better end of that deal.
I definitely got the better end of that deal, Corey.
It's not like Mr. Incredible's a bad-looking dude, but you got the better end of that deal.
100%.
All right, Rosie, speaking of wife swapping, should be here in about 10 minutes. He's into that game if you want to swap with him.
How dare you?
He might.
Oh, no doubt he would.
I wonder if him and the Lamberts do that. Think Rosie and Karin swap with the Lamberts? Yeah! We can ask him in 10 minutes. Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.
See two of the biggest names in folk rock as they take the stage together. Don't miss out when the Avett Brothers and the Trampled by Turtles
I cannot
co-headline.
wait for this show, dude.
They co-headline the
Dude, that's
X
awesome.
October 24th. Tickets on sale now. For more info, get yours today. Head over to KFAN.com, keyword calendar.
I'm telling you, man. I've become obsessed with Avett Brothers, and of course, we love Trample by Turtles.
Yes,
Dave's
Davey's
doing
the best.
But Avett Brothers,
That is an awesome lineup.
unbelievable. Just love that band.
Yes.
Always will thank my
October
friend Alyssa
what?
for introducing me to them. They're so
That'll
good.
be October 24th.
Let's go. Right before Halloween. Perfect.
That's right. Right before
Hockey will
Halloween.
just be getting going.
Are you done with hockey yet?
Almost.
Yeah. Is that good?
Couple weeks. Well, no. I mean, it's always nice. Hopefully, the Wild will make the playoffs. But I got the NHL Network. I got a couple weeks. I'll be going
Okay,
out there
got
in the
it.
playoffs. So for me, the season isn't over just yet.
Got it.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah, buddy.
Time for Fan 5 on the Power Trip, presented by All Around Property
Yeah,
Preservation.
thank you all around.
Thanks,
Go
all
ahead.
around property
Sorry about
preservation.
that.
Why am I blanking? Who sings "Taking Care of Business"?
Bachman Turner.
Oh yeah,
Overdrive.
Bachman Turner Overdrive, right? You know the Simpson bit, right? Where
Taking care.
Homer's taking care of business. Like that's the only song he wants to hear, right? He doesn't want to hear anything else.
Yep.
Yeah, I know we're supposed to do sports, and this is normally something I would have kept for headlines later, but this makes me laugh. And I'm not trying to cheer for somebody to fail, even though I probably am.
Interesting.
I'm just denying that in my
All right.
head.
Sure.
I'm probably lying to myself.
Yeah, go right ahead. Give her hell.
But Jennifer Lopez seems like a lot
Okay.
to handle.
Oh, man, I'd give it a shot.
I don't know why this makes me laugh so much, but this just does. She had a tour and her album called This Is Me, ... This Is Me Now.
Oh.
Right? Oh, wow. What a great album title.
Yeah.
This Is Me Now. Well, that was the name of her tour. Well, her ticket sales were tepid.
Oh, no.
Not going very well. Had to cancel 7 spots because she couldn't sell enough tickets.
Oh, no.
So she apparently quietly renamed her tour. Instead of This Is Me Now, she changed it to This Is Me Live, the greatest hits.
Yeah.
That's one of those, instead of hey, I'm playing my new stuff. Taking care of business. Right? No, if you like anything about Jennifer Lopez, it's the stuff from 25 years ago.
Sure.
Nobody wants to hear
No.
her new stuff.
Right.
No.
So the This Is Me Now thing wasn't working. It's now called This Is Me Live, the greatest hits.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Whoops.
tough, man.
Whoops.
That's a toughie.
That's got to be a little
That's a tough
shot to
one.
the pride, eh, Hawk?
Oh, man, that's a toughie. You
Yeah, I can imagine.
But
That'd
you know
be
what? Here's the thing. Who are we talking about again? What's her name?
Jennifer Lopez.
Jennifer Lopez. J-Lo. Jennifer
Rosie
what?
knows. Rosie, you dated Jennifer Lopez in the 90s, right?
Of course
The
I
decade,
did.
not the nightclub.
Right.
Of course I did.
Keep feeding the river, J-Lo. Do it for you, right? Play to half-empty arenas. Play smaller places. And trust me, it's not so bad.
You and Rocket Club should do a tour just called This Is Us Now.
Yeah, this is us playing other people's music. No,
Take care of business.
North Country. Well, that's our last song, North Country. No, I'm kidding. That's fun last week, man. We had good shows last week. Rosie was there.
I was in spirit.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
was.
because your spirit left your body for a while. Remember, because you were so high?
You've been
Rosie,
reading my diary.
I have, yeah.
Rosie, Twins News is brought to you by Quantum Fiber.
that's right.
Thanks, Quantum Fiber. Yeah! They lost to the Drunken Scotties. Milwaukee beat them 3-2. Milwaukee has yet to lose, Rosie. They are 4-0. Varland, not a terrible start, not a great one, though.
Right,
3 runs over 4 innings and 6 hits. That's not great. The Twins had just 3 hits, Kirilloff, Buxton, and Kepler. That was it.
That's it. And that's sort of been the story with the 2-2 start. They got a great pitching performance from Pablo Lopez in particular, who I believe will start tomorrow's home opener. Looking at kind of figuring out the pitching rotation. But yeah, they've hit, I think other than Royce Lewis, who we know is gone for at least probably a month and a half, other than his opening day home run, the Twins have not hit another home run.
Are you kidding me?
No, that's it. And there's no other production from their lineup right now. I mean, you see this happen sometimes early in the year and this was kind of and someone had said that, kind of continuation of, like spring training games don't matter. They're just working on stuff. Well, it's kind of been the same story. They weren't hitting the ball in spring training and they're not hitting the ball now. And it's obviously very, 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 very early, but you need some production from still a very formidable lineup on paper. And, just not getting the job done right now. So, 2-2. They play again at noon today in Milwaukee and then come home. Hopefully the weather will be a little warmer tomorrow, but it's supposed to be. I kept hearing all week.
50-ish.
It'll be a lot better tomorrow.
Yeah, it should be. Okay.
Zach, your hands
Much
up.
like J-Lo, the Twins just need more hits.
There you go. See, now it's not the chair. That was good.
Here's Rocco.
I think he had to really grind through the performance today. He finished probably at his strongest in the fourth inning. We couldn't let him really go any further. He threw a ton of pitches in this one.
Yeah, he threw a ton of pitches.
Yeah, the pitching really wasn't the problem. Varland got himself out of a jam. They're going to have to count on him because they don't have a lot of depth.
It's a pretty nice stadium there in Milwaukee, dude. Have you ever been there?
I have.
I watched a little bit of it on the recap this morning. I'm like, that's a good looking stadium.
Well, and they got the rooftop there. It was built right next to the old county stadium years ago.
I've driven by it a million times, but never been inside. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. They do a nice job there, and they have a lot of baseball fans there. It's a good sports town. So they're enjoying themselves right now, and it's a good rivalry. I mean, I'm glad that the Twins and the Brewers play each other every year now, and that I think Milwaukee comes back here sometime this year, and it's always it's a big weekend when the Brewer fans come to town. So it's a natural thing that Milwaukee was in the American League for a long time. Now they're not, but still the rivalry exists. If you want to call it that. I mean, only from proximity is. It's not like the Vikings and the Packers, but it's still, it's still solid.
Yeah,
it is weird that we don't have stronger rivalries with the Bucks and the Brewers. Maybe it's because we're not in the same division, and we probably should be.
Play the Bucks twice a year, and that's it.
That's dumb.
It is. That's just the sad part about the way the NBA has that set up. You see the Celtics once here, you see the Bucks once.
I feel like my life is more balanced when I hate things that Wisconsin is doing.
I know. I've known that about you for a long time.
I'm indifferent to the Brewers and the Bucks. I should hate them.
Right.
I don't hate them at all.
Hard. No, I mean, I
wouldn't it be better if we hated them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should all.
We hate the Badgers. We hate the Packers.
Right.
We should aspire to hate the Bucks and the Brewers. Why don't we?
No, in fact, I often root for those teams.
Yeah, let's stop that, but let's start hating them. Let's find a way collectively as a community to start actually hating them.
I found myself rooting for the Bucks
again,
a few years ago
enough.
When they were.
Sure.
What are you doing?
Why
What are you doing?
I mean,
why root
small
against
market
them?
team.
Well, you want Wisconsin to have more championships than us?
You're a traitor.
True.
No.
Plus
Got a point.
that arena and that surrounding area is awesome. What they have in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
It is.
Go Bucks.
Go
All right,
Bucks.
that's
The hell?
Yeah, what just happened?
I mean,
Go Greek Feek. Freak.
yeah,
Feek, freak.
Greek Feek.
Or Feek.
I think Greek Feek is opening up for J-Lo on her latest
No,
album.
the Greek Feek is the bear of bad news' his counterpart.
man.
They travel the country.
Is the Bear of Bad News coming back today or not?
I don't know.
Oh, Lord.
I don't think he's already here.
Sounds like he was looking for something.
Rosie, I think you called this, but man, it lived up to it. Most watched college basketball game in women's basketball history. Monday night, Iowa and LSU, 12.3 million. Also the most watched basketball game, period, on ESPN since 2018. That was the Eastern Conference Finals between the Cavs and the Celtics. So the ladies crushing in the ratings on Monday night. That was the record over the 83 title game with Cheryl Miller.
Not only that, but more than any Major League Baseball game. We're just talking about baseball. More than any NBA game last year, other than Game 5, I believe, of the NBA Finals. So they had historic numbers the other night, and it just shows you the way that sport and the individuals, more importantly, I mean, around it, have catapulted into the mainstream sports mindset. And it was a great doubleheader, and now they got another great matchup on Friday night in particular. We got two of them. Well, South Carolina, for a team that's unbeaten and number one in the country and has been, no one's talking about them. It's all about Caitlin Clark and Paige Beckers and UConn versus Iowa. I mean, that's sort of the storyline. But this is
cool, though.
It is, and it's. We were tempted, because Karin is a Iowa, I think, log rat. I've probably mentioned that a few times. Can you check out flights to Cleveland? I went, yeah, they're like $1,500 if you want to fly out Friday morning and go to the game.
Don't you think all this is Caitlin Clark? Because
it is.
No offense to Angel Reese or Juju Watkins or Paige Beckers, but Paige Beckers, had a moment a couple of years ago. It didn't pull the numbers like this.
No.
This is the star power of Caitlin Clark.
This is Caitlin Clark.
And having three other big names on Monday night helped, but I think it's still
100%.
98%
She's
Caitlin Clark motivated.
Once in a generation and then some player, and she'll be going right to the WNBA, and I'm sure they're anxious to see Indiana will be taking her number one.
There's a whole bunch of people saying that is the incorrect choice, that she should stay.
Well, she could. Why?
To make more money.
$3 million a year right now.
Yeah, but she's going to. Those endorsements aren't going to go away.
That's what Marty was yelling at me about one day.
No, it's not like she's got State Farm and Gatorade. All those are locked in. They're not nil money. Those are real endorsements, and she's going to be just fine. I know that the salary itself, it's what 70,000, 80,000 that she'll be making is a pittance compared to what she'll be making and continue to make. If nothing else, I think going pro and having more people wanting her to endorse their products will be even bigger for her. So I don't think
people watch? I think that's the thing. Is she's drawing $12.3 million in college basketball. She's not going to get anywhere near that in the WNBA. Even if the numbers go up, it's not going to be anywhere near $12.3 million.
Of course not.
So we'll see. Zach, your hands up. Is this the bearer of bad news, or is this Zach?
Talking about the whole flight situation that Rosie was just mentioning.
Yeah.
It
to
was
Cleveland?
The flight to Cleveland on Monday was $416. Right. It is now over 1,000.
Oh yeah.
Oh, the bear of bad news struck again.
Yeah. Way to go.
He couldn't wait.
It
Kind of a long drive.
$700.
Yeah.
Break time.
Yeah.
Jeez. Vikings news is next. Power Trip Morning Show on the Fan.
The Fan.
It is? I don't think it is. Welcome back, Power Trip Morning Show. This is the Power Trip Morning Show, not the NCAA basketball tournament. That'll be happening later at some point, I'm sure.
And I do need to note, Hawk.
Oh, okay.
The Electric Rock Duo 21 Pilots are heading back to Minnesota. They will be playing on October 12th as they bring the Clancy World Tour to Target Center. Tickets go on sale Friday at 10 a.m. More info at KFAN.com keyword calendar.
That's awesome. Thank you. I don't know if we have any Vikings news, but we're gonna give it a shot.
It's time for Vikings news on the Power Trip, presented by
Redco.
Truck Accessories Pro.
Rosie, we do have an offensive coordinator. A lot of us forget that because KOC is the man in charge. But Wes Phillips is the OC technically. He's suspended 3 weeks without pay for a 2023 traffic stop when he was over the legal limit for drinking. The legal limit is 0.08. He was 0.1. That was December 8th. That was on 394. I was right over here.
Right.
At 9:45. Right. Anyway, his suspension started yesterday. So he'll miss 0 games. Because unless I mean, I know the NFL schedule is just a couple of weeks away from coming out.
Right.
Maybe they quickly schedule a game between now and April 22nd.
I don't think that's legal.
But if they don't, he'll miss 0 games.
There's a real chance they're taking.
Well, what he's missing is obviously the leading up to the draft and the meetings and all that other stuff, and he's missing 3 weeks of pay. So I mean that's probably what hurts him the most. But it's just lesson learned. I mean, anyone in the public light, and they everyone, all these teams, school players, administrators, it's come a long ways. Where they say, look at. You are a public figure, whether you're Wes Phillips, which most people haven't heard of. I mean, they just because it's the Vikings have 26 assistant coaches, and so it's hard to remember when KOC's calling the plays. They have an offensive coordinator, and who is it? And I couldn't if I've looked at all the coaches, I couldn't pick them out of a 2-person line. I mean, it's just I'm saying I don't know who these people are. Most of them, Flores, So having said that, it doesn't matter if you are associated at all with any of these teams and you get picked up for DUI or whatever it is. You're not only going to make the newspapers and the news, but you're going to have to deal with discipline internally. So that's just life in the as it should be. But that's as I said, has come a long ways because there are lots of rules and regulations in place beyond obviously the law itself. So
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Long arm of the law.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of coaches. I'm looking at the list right now.
Oh, it's unbelievable. Again, I know I used to go old school like this, but I think Bud had 5 assistant coaches that were with him forever. And now you look at, they have more coaches than players sometimes. I go, what are their responsibilities? The quarterback, they have like 3 quarterback coaches.
Yeah, that was blown away when we were talking to like Lieber or back in the day when we first met and we were both still playing. And the amount of meetings that they had before they even, because of all the different coaches, they got to meet with all the different coaches. That's when the preparation for the NFL kind of blew my mind.
It's crazy. And right now in particular, because they have about, I assume like 30 different scenarios leading up to the draft. I mean, this is where Kwesi's analytics background of finance and everything else and moving the chess pieces around and figuring out with Rob Brzezinski and KOC, of course, and Andrew Miller and everybody else. Like, this is plan A, plan B. They have it all set up. I can't even imagine what their draft board looks like, but I think that the behind the scenes look at, and I mentioned to Corey yesterday, the poker game you have to play with these other teams. I mean, they're making phone calls now, but they're kind of tiptoeing around it a little bit until leading up to that night, knowing that Denver wants to get ahead of you, and this team wants to get ahead of you, and what's Arizona willing to part with, and what's New England really want to get that 3rd overall pick, and how do we judge the present and the long range future and making sure we don't know if we're going to have the right guy. No matter what quarterback, if the Vikings go that route, and all indications are they are going to try to go get one of those guys.
I don't know. I read a different thing yesterday.
Well, again, that's the thing. You're going to read. We've read everything. There's literally nothing else to read. Are they going to keep 11 and 23? Are they going to go with Sam Darnold?
What are you hearing?
I'm not hearing anything.
We almost got him.
No, nothing. I mean, there's probably 2 people, and they don't even really know just yet.
Well, I forget who was on with Charts yesterday. One of his fantasy football buddies. I was listening.
Yeah, I heard part of it.
Yeah, and he was talking about how the Vikings are going to stay with Darnold, probably, maybe.
Well, there's a chance.
Next year.
Common and I have talked about that. They invested $10 million in Darnold this year, and he's like, really. Is he one of those guys that just has never been surrounded with the talent they've had?
That'll be fun.
And then,
yay!
Yeah, I know. I don't think it's going to excite the fan base when you're chasing the Lions and the Packers right now. And whatever you think, Sam Darnold would have to go out and prove it. I mean, Jared Goff is not a Hall of Fame type quarterback, but he's surrounded by a lot of talent, and that's because the Lions did it the way that the Vikings could do it. And that's by continuing to add first-round picks to their offensive line and defensive line and cornerbacks. Geez, the Lions suddenly have a good team. Well, it took them how many years to get there? A lot of bad seasons to get themselves in draft situations.
Yeah.
And not the Vikings haven't had that, but they could go that route. I don't think they will. I think they're still going to go get a quarterback. Which one?
Uh-oh.
I don't know.
Okay.
Rosie.
Okay.
I name a Vikings coach. You tell me if you've ever heard of him, okay?
Oh, sure.
Brian Flores.
Yes.
Wes Phillips.
Yes.
Matt Daniels.
Yes.
Matt Wilhelm.
No.
David Putty.
No.
Justin Pitt.
Nope.
Mickey Abbott.
Nope.
Kenny
Now you're just making names up.
Kenny Banya. Russell Dalrymple.
Come on. Who are these people?
Joe Davola.
Good old Joey, man.
Are
Love
they
that guy.
really the coaches
Yeah.
on the Vikings?
Jack Klompus. Yes or no? Heard of these guys?
No.
I believe
Jackie
that's,
Childs.
Santa, isn't
Jackie
it?
Chan.
Tim Watley.
Okay, now you're just reading off of
Babu Bhatt. Yev Kasem.
Got to be a poker.
what is it? These all
It has
poker
to be.
players?
It
from
What
the
are you
World
talking
Series
about?
of
These
Poker?
are Vikings coaches.
No, they're not.
Izzy Mandelbaum.
Yeah, he is.
Is he?
Yes, he
Good old
is.
Izzy.
Joel Rifkin.
No.
Keith Hernandez.
Yeah, baseball player.
Great
from Mets.
baseball player.
Lloyd Braun.
I believe he
Jay
was,
Peterman.
for the
Jay
Major League.
Peterman.
Newman.
Newman. Oh, Seinfeld.
What?
What?
Sue Ellen Mishke. The Braless Wonder.
How about TD Mishke?
Oh, yeah. What about TD Mishke?
Love that guy.
He was great.
He still is. Love
Yeah.
him. Doing a great podcast.
Is he? Oh,
road.
man.
Yeah. Love that guy.
Yep, that's sort of the lineup for the Vikings coaches.
You know how Lieber's kind of red hot all of a sudden on Michael Penix, that he wouldn't be disappointed
Yeah,
if Penix
I
was
wouldn't
pick
either.
23? Okay, this is more insanity. Everybody's assumed that the four guys at the top are the four guys at the top.
Right.
There's a whole bunch of people now all of a sudden off the top rope saying Penix should be in that group,
Mm-hmm.
and there's people saying that they would not be surprised if he wasn't the fifth.
Ooh.
What are we doing?
What do you mean?
This is ridiculous. It is crazy how
it changes so much.
it changes, and
Subterfuge.
then one person says something, and then everybody jumps on that bandwagon. And I'm not saying Lieber's a bandwagon guy. I'm saying
He is.
he's one of the first person.
Yes.
He's one of the
Just
first people
is.
I heard say, like, kind of, banging the table for
Penix.
Michael Penix.
Yeah. And you
more
can't, the
proof.
problem, you can't
It's
argue.
insanity.
You can't argue with anyone about any
Don't
of
watch
these
me.
because you can. I mean, it's not. You literally can argue with anyone about anything because it's a hot sports take. But translating what we've watched, and very few people, I mean, unless you're scouts, have watched these guys play extensively. How many games have you seen Caleb Williams play? I saw him play
Zero.
late
I have
night.
no idea. Yeah.
USC would be on, at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. They're fun to watch. They lose 43-38. They have no defense.
You know how many games of Drake May I've seen?
One.
Against the Gophers.
Exactly
That's
one. Right.
Yeah.
I saw him play the Gophers.
I
and
saw
that was
that's it.
I saw 2 Caleb Williams, 1 Drake May. All 3 of those games, the quarterbacks weren't very good.
Yeah.
And Penix had,
May was okay against the
bad game
Gophers, right?
against-
But not like you got to give up the house to get him. He looked
Exactly.
solid. He
But
looked like
that-
a
but
quarterback that
doesn't
knew what he was
matter.
doing.
It's
The best, greatest quarterback of all time was the last pick in the draft, wasn't he?
Yeah, Brock Purdy.
Yeah, exactly.
Brady was a 6th rounder, but yeah,
Right.
sure.
Yeah, we got it.
That's it. Russell Wilson was, when he was in his prime, what, 3rd round pick?
3rd rounder.
I've said
You
it
never,
before.
you never know in any league. You never,
Never know.
No.
Said it before, I'll say it again. This is a perfect team for a young quarterback to come to because the cupboard is not bare. You get a young quarterback, he could be much better on the squad than he is on any other squad.
So, but here's the deal, though, Rosie, and this is what happens all the time. I've heard this a lot over the last couple of months.
Kiss me.
I've heard "kiss me," and I've said, "Sorry, my wife's going to be home soon, and you're the repairman." No, it's the idea that there can be busts at pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Sure.
6. We all get that. Every pick in the draft from 1 to the Mr. Irrelevant and Brock Purdy,
Right.
every one of them can be a boom or a bust. We don't need to argue that. Obviously, there's a giant risk about trading up and having it be wrong. It all comes down to scouting. If you knew that the guy you were going to trade up to get, I don't care which one of these 4 guys you're identifying. If you think that Drake May or Jaden Daniels or JJ McCarthy or Caleb Williams is worth 4 first-round picks,
Go get him.
if you're right, he's worth every dime of that. If your scouting sucks, if you're wrong, you're probably not worthy about being a GM anyway. So I don't get the whole, the first pick could be a bust, so I'd rather just sit at 11 and just take our chance. Well, that pick could be a bust as well, and historically has a bigger chance
Correct.
of being a bust. So it comes down to scouting. You have
had
to
about
scout
Anthony
correctly.
Richardson already. He got hurt, but there can be just a bigger risk of not moving up because you're thinking, we don't want to give up that number 1 pick next year. Well, it may not matter that much. First of all, you're going to have a ton of money to spend in free agency, and you can go get other players. And so it's not like that's the only way you can improve your football team. But the Vikings have been looking for a franchise quarterback since Fran Tarkenton. And so other than, Culpepper having a couple good years and Brett Favre coming in here in 2009, they haven't had the guy. They haven't had a Packer-like run, not even close to it. And so if you're looking for it, and this you feel is your best opportunity in decades to potentially get that guy, then you go get him. And you don't think about it. You don't think about next year, what's going to happen. We're giving up the number one pick. Who cares? The quarterback is the most important position on a football team, and the Vikings, again, have been looking like the Bears have been looking. Yeah! The Bears are drafting someone they feel. Who have the Bears ever had at quarterback? Jim McMahon.
He gets it.
Jim McMahon, the punky QB, led them to a Super Bowl because they had the most hellacious defense, arguably, in the history of the NFL in 1985. Now, McMahon happened to be the benefit from it, and Jimmy Mack was great. I loved him. Gutsy guy, but he wasn't technically as skilled as probably 3/4 of the quarterbacks in the league. But he had Walter Payton and a great defense.
And the fridge. Hey, Rosie.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of our scouting department, were you ever a Boy Scout?
I was a Cub Scout.
Oh.
For a short time.
Yeah. What'd you learn to do?
Get the hell out of the way.
Yeah, that's.
I don't know. No,
traffic.
I learned how to try to tie one of those kerchief type things. I don't remember. I wasn't in it for very long.
Yeah.
Have you parlayed that in your adult life at all?
Yes.
Oh, how? Hello to you as well.
I want to give you a button. I'm looking at Zach who's going.
Like maybe you've used that skill for blindfolds or some kind of a handcuff situation.
No comment.
Perhaps.
Ooh.
No handcuffs.
So you did Cub Scouts for a year, maybe at the most?
I really don't. Yeah, I think I did.
I bet you were.
Honestly, yeah, I think I did. But it was never a big deal at that. I hate to say it, but the Girl Scout thing was, my sister's, there was a lot bigger deal.
You were jealous?
I wasn't jealous at all.
Did you ever go with to the Girl Scouts? Just hang out?
Yeah, do like a ladybug situation where you put on some pigtails and sell some cookies.
I helped them sell their cookies.
Yeah, you did.
I don't know if this is PC anymore, but I did Indian guides. We did that as a family.
Really?
Yeah, Y guides.
Not.
Yeah, no, it's not, but that's what it was called.
I went to Camp Christmas Tree out there, and I think it's still there, out Highway 7 out towards...
oh, yeah.
Mount. You remember?
Yeah, absolutely.
Camp Christmas Tree.
Are we just making things up at this point?
I'm not. I had a T-shirt.
The camp from Y Guides, was out there. God, I can't remember
like
now.
that.
I actually posted a picture when I was, however, 7
in
years old, wearing my
Independence out there,
Camp Christmas Tree T-shirt.
Would you guys just sit around and play the bongos, or what would you do at Camp Christmas Tree?
I don't remember other than the fact that a chipmunk got into my lunch and ate my peanut butter and jelly
in
sandwich.
An ungodly hot cabin.
I was mad at him
for a week.
Yeah, exactly. Well, was it an overnight?
Oh, we did. We had the overnights there. Yeah, it was. Oh, yeah.
I don't remember.
Our kids went to the same one too. We sent our kids.
Kidding.
Really?
Have fun in those cabins.
Yeah, exactly.
Man, we did Camp Wilson. Everybody has that. Like we were in 6th grade, right?
Right.
And we sang around the campfire. What out and chew? 6th grade. I still remember it.
Wow,
that's awesome.
Yeah, weird. Did you have a song at the campfire?
Yeah.
What was it?
Don't remember.
Yep.
I love that song.
I mean, I remember sitting around the campfire. I remember singing a lot of songs.
Yeah.
Not a single note, word, letter, sentence, nothing.
Didn't you know yours, Corey, one time? Didn't we revisit this once? Was that you?
we did like I don't think we had an overnight either, but at like Camp Ojiquita, I think is what the name of it was. And I just remember thinking to myself, what the hell am I going to eat here?
That is the worst. Those field trips.
Yeah.
And
how can I get my dad to run to McDonald's and drop it off?
Exactly.
Exactly.
I'm going to starve. I can't live 24 hours.
Rosie was eating chipmunks.
With the Herzl camp too in Webster, Wisconsin. That's Herzl.
Herzl Walker?
Herzl Walker. And that's when I was, let's see, how old was I? 13. And so the girls were also there.
Oh, God.
Ooh. So at that age, they had, of course, their own accommodations. We had ours.
Yep. But
Never the twain shall meet.
That didn't stop you.
Damn right.
How long ago did you stop going there?
Last year was it. I signed up to be a counselor.
It must have sucked in 2020 when COVID.
That was awful.
That's disgusting and terrifying and illegal.
Really quick, just because it's bugging
God.
me. How did you know a chipmunk ate your stuff? Did you walk in on the
Because
chipmunk?
I did. I was. We were, doing some activity or whatever, and I must have inadvertently left my Casey Jones lunchbox open or something, and that little rascal was just hightailing out of there when I caught him.
Yeah. Damn it.
And that ruined my whole day. Alvin, exactly. And ever since then, I've trapped a bunch of them with peanut butter.
You just eat them, don't you?
I just eat them.
Button bar.
Rocco, our new dog hunts them down. Oh yeah, he's come
Is he
home.
good?
He's come home with blood on him a couple times already.
My.
Oh yeah, he's a survivor. He lived on a highway by himself for a year,
Well,
for God's sake.
He knows.
He was a Cub Scout.
Yeah, he knows how to take care of business.
Camp Herzl.
Oh, these stories. How do we get involved?
All right. One more hour to go. Power 2 Morning Show with Mark Parrish and Mark Rosen on the Fan.
The Fan.